Hey guys, so today I've got an interesting statistic for you. This is from the National Safety Council. Do you know that over 50% of the people who go to a gym or do an exercise program will get injured? And more than 40% of those are debilitating injuries. The most common, so that's more than half, right? The most common is the muscle sprain or strain and shoulder injury. So I want to talk about shoulder injuries today, and I want to talk about, it'll definitely translate over to any injury, but that's a big number. More than half of the people who do an exercise program or go to a gym are getting injured. And debilitating injuries that stop you for more than a week of being able to do the things you want, that's no bueno. And as a corrective exercise specialist, I can tell you there are key factors that you can, if you can understand these pieces, you can prevent these injuries. They are absolutely preventable. A lot of what we see with regards to injuries is really common sense, but if you don't know what you don't know, you can be injuring yourself or perpetuating an issue just by picking up a simple weight that you would think, oh, this is simple, this is light, and then maybe you'll load it because it seems so light, and then you continue perpetuating it. Meanwhile, you're missing a key piece. So that key piece that I'm talking about is alignment. This is something that's fundamental to everything we do. It's everything I teach in Yogilachi is about alignment first. If you're out of alignment, and that doesn't mean just up and down straight alignment, it means also where are your muscles where they need to be. So let's go to the shoulder girdle because that's the number one question I get asked. And knowing that the shoulder injuries that occur, there's a lot happening in the shoulders, but I can tell you, I'm going to say 100% of the injuries that I've seen and I've worked with, from having them come from a PT or work with a client who's had an injury or a prolonged injury, is because of misalignment. And that misalignment of the humerus head is the biggest thing, because this is what's happening every single day. When you are sitting forward, your humerus head is having to move. So think about the humerus head. Here's the bone, okay? So bone in that arm, the upper arm, it sits across and up and under that shoulder, the collarbone, okay? So that movement there is a ball socket joint. Humerus head is a ball socket joint. But if you have misalignment from that collarbone and the shoulders are up here, and then you go up to a rack and you do a military press or a push-up from the floor, or you do bicep curl. You can see where my shoulders are. They're up by the ears. I have to literally walk past and close my eyes. Just like, I'm not looking when I'm watching pros that are really going at it and the shoulders are up near their ears. And I just want to go, let's get those shoulders down, put them back, bring them back, retract the scapula. And then you start to understand it's not about working these deltoids. Let's get these deltoids really big. It's about really getting the whole thoracic girdle in proper alignment. Then you can start loading even with a little bit. So you start with that smaller. Let's say you're going to go over and do that military press. You want those shoulders back and down before you load anything. I don't even care if it's a stick. You want them in proper alignment before you load and before you take that up to your military press. That's a really important piece, and it's crucial. It's crucial to be in correct alignment before you load a joint. You start loading that shoulder joint, and you're going to create a lot of wear and tear. Maybe it doesn't happen the first time, but the wear and tear will start to wear out. There'll be compensation. Then there's other things that happen in the whole body. And it's just a compounding negative effect. So what we want to do is really start to get the pieces of the body and the building blocks of your kinetic chain or the movement chain understood. First and foremost, you need to understand the shoulder girdle is a mobile joint. It needs to move. But within that movement pattern, there has to be alignment and correct activation. A lot of times I will also see dormant trapezius muscles, at least mid-traps, even latissimus the lats here, they're just the muscles of the side, your obliques could be just dormant. They're just operating at less than 100%. Even if they're at 90% and they're not fully on, then the result is the deltoids usually have to pick up the slack. Those deltoids pull on the scalenes. Then we get all kinds of compounding, again, those compounding negative effects. The great news is when you get this handled, you can start really working those muscles in such an amazing way. You don't need a ton of weight where you're straining them. The correct amount of weight, the correct movement pattern will get you amazing results. You'll get stronger faster, your body will respond better, and you will prevent injuries. And as a result of preventing injuries, right, one of the big factors in weight loss stall is a pain or injury, right? So if even exercising, if you're in pain, you don't want to go exercise, but it also stalls the weight loss. And that's because when you're in pain and the body is responding to a pain and the brain has to work things out. And oftentimes pain isn't directly correlated unless it's a specific chronic injury. That pain that you're feeling stops the actual process of digesting and metabolizing excess fat. So your body actually goes into lockdown. It's not going to lose weight. It wants to hold on to the weight. We start seeing the weight plateau. That's another big factor. And why it is so important to understand proper alignment before you do any loading of the joint, even a stick. If you were to repeatedly go and lift your groceries with your shoulders up to your ears, you're perpetuating issues with that shoulder girdle. So you could begin to use a simple reset of your scapula. The scapula retracts and comes down. Now you've got some movement that you can start to activate the muscles of the posterior chain of that thoracic shoulder girdle. And you're not so dependent on the deltoids in the front, right? So we've got anterior deltoid that will start to pull you if it's short, and those pecs will shorten. That will keep you in this constant aggravation of that joint in that shoulder. And so we just shift that from alignment. Okay, I gave a lot of information there. I'm hoping that some of this sticks and you get a little bit of education around the shoulder girdle. A lot of times, just by doing something improperly, that's where those injuries happen. It's not just some major thing. It's literally like a repetitive action of something that is improper. Improper form, you probably have heard of this. Improper warm-up. If the shoulder is not properly warmed up, if even in just doing movement patterns of getting that shoulder warmed up, the thoracic girdle warmed up, the brain doesn't have the connection or the map of the thoracic in a moving or a mobile state. So when you go and load it, it's going to try to find or recruit muscles, mostly it's the deltoid, and then overexerts in that deltoid, which pulls everything out and tends to pinch that upper trapezius because we're in this area. It's overstretching, it's overextending those muscles, and we get this situation where they start to bind up and get really tight. So we want to get those shoulders down, back in alignment, and then when you get properly, you do proper warm up, and you're telling the brain, you're remapping the body in the brain. Because if you're sitting for the most, if this is how you are most of the day, you can't then go to the gym and tell the brain, oh, I need to be like this. It's not going to be natural for you. And you may not even realize that you're in this position anymore, because your brain has adapted to think, oh, I'm standing straight, or you're standing like this. And someone's like, oh, are you out of alignment? Are you okay? Is your shoulder raised? Like, I'm standing normal. I'm standing totally straight. And your one's up in the ear and you're like this. It's, and then we become, that's our normal. Because that's the brain adapting, and the brain loves to adapt, but it also loves complicated, good movement. And so what we've got to do is get that shoulder down, the shoulder down. And we've got to give the time needed for the brain to remap that body. And we can do that with other tools that I love to work with my client. Every person that I work with is getting foundational tools. And so if you're a busy executive and you don't have time for injuries or time to be stalled out in pain and your weight just plateauing, then you want to work with someone who knows what's going on. You want to get some help there to find out, maybe uncover some old pain patterns that are going on, maybe some old pathways that have been laid down in that map, and we get that shifted with some, I'm going to say simple tools. They're not necessarily easy, but they are simple and they're doable, and the change can happen the first session. So I'd love to offer anyone who's serious about dropping the extra weight and they want to do it in a healthy way, not by pills and potions or surgeries, please, but you want to focus on really optimizing your movement and your mindset and your nutrition so that you look and feel amazing. You're effortlessly dropping that weight. There's a reason the weight is plateaued. And if you want to jump on my calendar for a VIP, so it's a VIP jumpstart your weight loss. I am offering that to my viewers when you watch this video. I'm going to give you my calendar link. You'll see there are spots. There are just a few spots on my calendar that I try to open up every week so I can talk to at least 3 people. I am almost at capacity, but it is really important to me that if you are a busy professional and you are serious about getting expert support, somebody who's been doing this for 30 years and knows your body, really can know how to assess properly to get you out of pain, to get the weight dropping off effortlessly, and to get you looking and feeling your best so you're more productive, you're more, your performance is better. You're going to be performing so much better as a result of not being in pain or not struggling or being confused. And this is not just in the gym or exercising at home or going and riding your bike or whatever it is you do. Hopefully you have some kind of exercise program in your lifestyle, but also how you function in your day as a leader, as a busy executive, where you're able to stand in your strength and your power and not be at the end of the day in this position where you're, right? We can get all of that reset so you're feeling and looking amazing and really your best. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. So if you get on my calendar, you can go to stephana.net. I don't know how many of those are available. I try to make 5 available over this week. It's almost the end of the month and I'm wrapping up. So jump on one of those, grab a spot on my calendar, stephana.net, stephana.net. And let's talk. Let's get that sorted. Let's get whatever's going on with the stall of the weight loss. If there's a pain situation, I can definitely take a look at that and we can give you a key action that will, I want to say, transform your life, because oftentimes that's what it does. One specific action can completely transform where you are if you're stuck, and we can just get you feeling and looking your best quickly. So as I wrap up, I'm just going to give you one more piece of the puzzle as far as the shoulder goes, and that is knowing that the shoulder is attached to the thoracic girdle. And there is a specific curve in your thoracic area. So those are the 12 vertebrae in the upper back. And when they are over forward arching, okay, so when you are going to an over forward arch, this is called kyphosis. If there is a kyphotic, you're going forward over, this is going to shorten your pecs. It's going to shorten the serratus anterior, which is going to give you, and it seems counterintuitive, but I will list, please get this. So we'll go in and we'll think, oh, I've got this chronic pain up through, and it's like a pinch between my shoulder blades, and it feels this just a pain after I've done a workout with my arms and my upper body. And I feel this pain back here, almost like under my shoulder blades. And so they'll go in there and they'll dig in the upper back and shoulders and be trying to get that out. That may not be where it's at, because look at this kyphosis that's going on. Look at how much the rest of my body is now having to compensate. And so you've got overstretching going on, overextension in these trapezius muscles that need to be countered with movements. And if you can get your head on top of your body, take your hands behind your back, clasp them, and use the leverage to bring those shoulders down and back slightly, and then gently lift them off, but not from your shoulders. So it's not shoulders up to your ears. You're just bringing those hands up and off, but you're keeping the shoulders down and dropping that. We can start to reset that movement that's forward. So we're just bringing it. Imagine if you, so my ponytail's up, but imagine I have a ponytail and I'm just going to squeeze my ponytail between my scapula. So you're looking at this from the back. Let's see if you can see this. There's this. My scapula is way over here. We want to get the scapula back and down. And now we've got a far stronger, far superior scaffolding to hold any kind of weight. And you only ever want to be loading in proper alignment, okay? This is really, really crucial. So yeah, that statistic of having how many injuries, and that the shoulder injury is at the top 3 injuries. You don't need to have it. And then I hear, oh, well, the surgery is the only option I have. It's not the only option. If that's the only tool you have, then yeah, it could be the only option. But I'd like to say, let's get that sorted out by proper movement, optimal movement, and then understanding how your body functions. And we're going to get you feeling and looking amazing without a lot of extra strain and all the other nonsense that goes on in the health and fitness world. So again, if you want to jump on my calendar, stephana.net. I'm the creator of Yogilachi. It's a beautiful form of blending yoga, Pilates, and Tai Chi in a functional way. I use optimal movement, mindset, and nutrition because they have to work together. And that's how we get amazing results with our clients. All right, so if you're watching this live, please type in live and let me know that you were here. I would love to give you a shout out and say hello. And then if you're watching a replay, put replay in the chat for me and just let me know that you're watching the replay and that if you got anything out of this, or if there's something that you would like me to do a video on, put that in there as well. And I'll be sure and get that for next Friday. Okay, have a great weekend. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.